So I've been walking for about an hour now, walking in to set up a basic bivvy for the Sika up this year. Just got to come in with your rifle and your day pack and everything will be in here. So just had a shower of rain actually, so it's only about mid-December. Bush is pretty cool with that bit of a rain shower. As you can see, scrub's getting a bit thick around here in places. But anyway, we'll get up in there and get a good base camp going, and we're going to spend the night. Get a fire going, a couple of beers, kick back and relax. The old hut's coming together, so just get a bit of camo on there and hunting from the Bivi during April did prove to be a bit quiet in that area. I did get onto a couple of roaring stags one day, but it was certainly not what I thought it would be. So I guess I'll pull all my gear down, stash it, and give it a go next year. Well, we've just arrived up at this top of this ridge, so I'm going to have to go over here, come round. Where I want to set the camera is actually about a K1.5 back this way, so we're certainly taking the long way around. But setting up this camera for the Squidster, one of his cameras, so we're both on the same page of where he wants it. So I'll find my way over there. I might just sidle round through there instead of going up to the top. Probably regret that. So we won't get hunting until we get back over in here somewhere. Another hour, hour and a half. Bit of a deer beard there. How the hell do you get through this shit? Gotta try and get through there. At this point I didn't know if it was a stag or a hind that I'd seen. Basically the body size sort of said hind, so I quickly got over to a position in hope of a better look at them. I continued to watch the hind and fawn as they grazed around, kind of going in and out of view. I was in hope that a stag or even just a knobby spiker or something would be with them. It wasn't too long until a knobby spiker appeared. Once he came into view, I watched him for a few seconds. As you can see, the knobs on his head are not exactly huge, so it took me just a few seconds to actually identify him as a wee knobby. Certainly didn't want to shoot a hind, so I can see him, he dropped on the spot. Just give him a couple of minutes and we'll wander over. Little knobby spiker, which I'm a bit hesitant about taking it, but when you're bow hunting you just don't get choice. You get a shot at about, I don't know, every 6th or 7th deer you see. If not, every 10th there, you see. The opportunities with bow hunting is just few and far between, so definitely didn't want to shoot a hind, so I actually heard the fawn where they'd come up. I was standing just behind that big fallen log there. They sort of just come up out of here somewhere. Anyway, got him, clean him up, and regroup. I went through just by the neck brisket, so by the look of that, she's hit the neck bone, and it was sitting in the lung just there. So he wasn't going anywhere. The other one that I shot at with this arrow was a stag, shot and lost a couple of years ago. So this was the last time I used my bow, 2 years ago. The stag would have survived. I followed his blood, but eventually it dribbled off to nothing, and I just lost him. Do bear in mind it may look like a lot of deer on this video, but this is 3 different cameras set anywhere from 8 to 10 kilometers apart, and these cameras have sat out 24 hours a day for approximately 3 months. These are a few stags that we didn't get back on camera this year. Whether they're still there or dead, who's to know. Here's a few other stags caught on squid cam in the same place this year. Nothing too exciting in this lot. This young stag appears to have a couple of cotton buds stuck to his head. Well, I'm just heading out to set up Nick's second camera for the Squidster. The other camera I set up last week is miles from here. Let's come around here. It's about to step over there. Some bloody stag shit, which don't really want to pick it up. Looks a bit fresh, but anyway, bloody huge. It's pretty bloody. The sun in the way, but for a Sika, camera's waving all over the place, trying to balance it. For a Sika deer, that is monstrous, but there is a red Sika cross in here, so I would say that is him. I've seen that in other places around here, so it's only the 15th of February. Anyway, we'll get up in here and get this camera set up. So this is where I had my camera, and it was a bloody top looking spot, but for some unknown reason, this is 2 years ago, they buggered off and started using it down there. But looking at the damage on this has been caused by last year, I'm thinking this might be a better option. Because this was not like this 2 years ago. There was a bit of a waller in here, but that was it. But only because you get a good view here. It's fairly open, so I am going to put it here. See how we go. This is something I use to stop the lenses fogging up. It's basically the same stuff you put on a diving mask, or the inside of a diving mask, ski goggles, whatever. I just wipe the lenses with it. I've had trouble in the past with fogging lenses, so got this stuff about 10 years ago and works wonders. Can even do these if you got them, but a bit hard to get at those ones. And done. This is a few stags from my camera from 2 years ago. With the squid cam this year, it was a bit of a failure, sadly. Not a lot of animals visited this place, and the night shots were not very effective at all. This is the same walla, but just from a different angle. I had moved the camera. Look at the sheer body mass of this animal. Absolutely top condition. This is a squid cam too. It's at the same walla as the previous footage. Didn't have many entries in it, about 80. There was a few false triggerings. Nighttime shots, as you see, are not that good, so it's a bit hard to see what's in the picture. So not a lot on this one. This next daytime shot is of a stag that I didn't realise Nick had on his camera, but it's one that I passed up shooting during the roar. It's not very often you see stags in open country like this. I had heard a main call and I closed the gap by half the distance, gave him a roar, and he came straight in. I had the bolt closed on him, but I just couldn't bring myself to shoot him. Here's a couple of clips of deer calling. One is of a stag. I think there's a second deer just out of the picture, which is the one calling. And the second is of a hind, perhaps calling for her fawn. Here's a few animals off Westy Cam. It's the same thing. The nighttime shots are not very good. And a few from my camera. This stag's got a bit going on with his headgear. Can't imagine he attracts too many girls.